I never loved you, Kalu. Not like that. I appreciate everything you've done for me, but I found someone else. In the heart of a thriving village stood one of the grandest houses, a testament to the success and wealth of its owner, Kalu. Known for his business acumen, Kalu was a self-made man who believed in the power of commerce over formal education. Despite his lack of schooling, he had built an empire and was highly respected in the village. Kalu was not only a successful businessman but also a generous benefactor. He had helped numerous families in the village, including Akunna's. Her family lived in a small, dilapidated hut, struggling to make ends meet. When Kalu met Akunna, he was immediately taken by her intelligence and beauty. He decided to help her family and funded her education, sending her younger siblings to school as well. Akunna, you are very special to me, Kalu often said. I want you to have every opportunity one never had. Akunna was deeply grateful and fond of Kalu. She admired his determination and kindness. When she expressed her desire to go to university, Kalu supported her wholeheartedly. It's fine, Akunna, Kalu said with a smile. Go and make the most of this opportunity. I will always be here for you. As Akunna left for university, she visited Kalu during the holidays, staying in his luxurious apartment. She enjoyed their time together, but as time went on, she began to feel a growing distance. One fateful day, Kalu decided to surprise Akunna by visiting her at school. He drove his flashy car to the university, eager to see her. Akunna was with her friends when he arrived, and the moment turned sour quickly. Hey, Akunna. I dey here, Kalu called out in pidgin, waving energetically. Akunna's friends turned to look, and she felt a wave of embarrassment. She rushed over to him, her face flushed with discomfort. What are you doing here? She asked, trying to keep her voice down. I come see you now. I miss you, he replied, beaming. Akunna glanced at her friends, who were whispering and giggling. This is not a good time. Please, you should go. Kalu's smile faded. Why? Wetin I do? Nothing. Just please go, Akunna insisted, her voice shaking. Reluctantly, Kalu left, confused and hurt by her reaction. Akunna's friends continued to mock her, making jokes about his pidgin English and lack of education. Girl, how can you date someone who can't even speak proper English? One friend teased. Akunna's close friend, Nkechi, tried to console her. Don't worry about what people say. If you love him, you can help him improve. Brush him up a little. But Akunna was deeply ashamed and struggled with the realization that her relationship with Kalu was becoming a source of ridicule. During her next holiday, she avoided visiting him, choosing instead to stay with her parents. Her family, noticing the change, questioned her. Akunna, why didn't you visit Kalu this holiday? Her mother asked. Akunna looked down, avoiding her mother's eyes. I just needed some time with you and Papa. Her father, who had always been grateful to Kalu, furrowed his brow. Is everything alright between you and Kalu? Akunna nodded quickly. Yes, everything is fine. When Akunna returned to school, she met In, a recent graduate working in his father's company. In was wealthy, sophisticated, and everything Akunna thought she wanted. They quickly became close, and before long, they were dating seriously. Akunna was enamored with In's charm and the ease with which he navigated high society, something she found lacking in Kalu. One evening, while chatting with her friends, Akunna couldn't contain her excitement about In. In is just perfect. He's so well-spoken and educated, she gushed. Her friends, who had once mocked Kalu, now admired her new relationship. You're so lucky, Akunna. In is a great catch. However, Not everyone was pleased with Akunna's newfound romance. One of her friends from the village, Amoka, who had always been envious of Akunna, decided to visit Kalu and reveal everything. Amoka arrived at Kalu's house unannounced, her face set with determination. "Kalu, we need to talk." Kalu, surprised by her visit, welcomed her in. "Amoka, what brings you here?" Amoka didn't waste time. "It's about Akunna. She has been seeing another man in the city. His name is In, and they are very serious." Kalu's heart sank. "Are you sure about this?" "Yes," Amoka said, her voice dripping with malice. "She's been avoiding you because she's ashamed of you. She even tried to brush you off when you visited her at school." Kalu felt a surge of anger and pain. "Thank you for telling me, Amoka." Seeing an opportunity, Amoka tried to get closer to Kalu. "You deserve better, Kalu. Someone who appreciates you for who you are." Kalu, still reeling from the revelation, stood up abruptly. "Amoka, I need some time alone. Please, leave." Amoka, disappointed by his rejection, left the house, her plan to win him over thwarted. Kalu, on the other hand, was determined to hear from Akunna herself. He called her repeatedly, but she didn't answer. Finally, Akunna returned to the village for the holidays. She went to see Kalu, who was waiting for her, his face a mask of calm determination. "Akunna, we need to talk," Kalu said as soon as she entered. Akunna, sensing the tension, nodded. "All right." Kalu took a deep breath. "I've heard about In. Is it true?" Akunna hesitated, then nodded. "Yes, Kalu. I'm seeing someone else." Kalu's eyes filled with pain. "But why? After everything we've been through?" Akunna looked away. "I never loved you, Kalu. Not like that. I appreciate everything you've done for me, but I found someone else." Kalu's voice trembled. "I love you, Akunna. I was going to marry you." "I'm sorry, Kalu. I can't do this anymore," Akunna said, turning to leave. Her parents, unable to change her mind, reluctantly agreed. Soon after, Akunna brought into the village to perform the marriage rites. Kalu, heartbroken and confused, swore off women, unable to understand how everything had gone so wrong. After graduation, Akunna and In were married in a lavish ceremony. The honeymoon period was blissful, and Akunna believed she had made the right choice. In's wealth and sophistication dazzled her, and she enjoyed the attention and luxury that came with being his wife. However, 6 months into the marriage, cracks began to show. In was frequently away on business trips, leaving Akunna alone in their large, empty house. She tried to keep herself busy, but the loneliness gnawed at her. One evening, when In returned from a trip, Akunna confronted him. "In, why are you always traveling? We hardly spend any time together." In looked at her dismissively. "I have to work, Akunna. We need the money." "But we have plenty of money," Akunna argued. "I miss you. I need you here with me." Inside, handing her a wad of cash. "Here, buy yourself something nice. I'll be back soon." Akunna took the money reluctantly, feeling more like a burden than a partner. The loneliness and disillusionment grew, but she tried to convince herself that this was the life she had chosen. One day, while In was away, there was a knock on the door. Akunna opened it to find a woman standing there, looking angry and impatient. "Where's that man? I've been calling him, and his phone is switched off," the woman demanded. Akunna frowned. "Who are you?" The woman glared at her. "I'm his wife. He was supposed to pick me up from the airport. I've been away for years." Akunna's mind raced. Wife? No, I'm his wife. Before they could process this shocking revelation, the door opened, and another woman entered, shouting, "Babe." She stopped short when she saw them. "What are you doing here?" The three women stared at each other in stunned silence, realizing that In had married them all behind each other's backs. They tried to call him, but there was no response. Helpless and betrayed, they sat down to talk, sharing their stories. Akunna was crying in regret. "How did I get into this situation?" The other women were equally devastated, each wondering how they had been deceived. After some time, Akunna packed her things and decided to return to the village. When she arrived, she learned that Kalu had traveled abroad for business and was not coming back. The news hit her hard, and she realized the magnitude of her mistakes. She was helpless, frustrated, and filled with regret, knowing that she had lost the one person who truly cared for her. Akunna settled back into her parents' hut, her mind a whirlwind of emotions. She spent her days reflecting on her choices and the life she had abandoned. The once vibrant and confident woman was now a shadow of herself, filled with regret and sorrow. Her parents tried to comfort her, but they too were struggling with their disappointment. "Akunna, you must find a way to move on," her mother said gently. "We can't change the past." Her father nodded. "Kalu was a good man. He would have made you happy." Akunna nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I know, Papa. I was foolish and blinded by pride." Life in the village continued, but Akunna felt like an outsider. The villagers whispered about her fall from grace, and she couldn't escape the constant reminders of her mistakes. She longed for the simplicity and love she had once known with Kalu. One evening, as the sun set over the village, Akunna sat outside, lost in thought. Nkechi, her old friend, approached and sat beside her. "Akunna, I'm sorry for what happened," Nkechi said softly. "I never meant to hurt you." Akunna sighed. "It's not your fault, Nkechi. I made my choices." Nkechi hesitated before speaking again. "Kalu still cares for you, you know. Even from afar, he's kept an eye on you." Akunna's heart ached at the thought. "I hurt him so much. How can I ever make things right?" Nkechi took her hand. "By learning from your mistakes and moving forward. You can't change the past, but you can choose how to live your future." Akunna nodded, feeling a glimmer of hope. She knew it would be a long and difficult journey, but she was determined to rebuild her life and make amends for her actions. Months turned into years, and Akunna gradually found her footing again. She started a small business in the village, selling handmade crafts and traditional clothing. Her business grew, and she found solace in her work and the support of her family and friends. One day, as she was setting up her stall in the market, a familiar figure appeared. It was Kalu, back from his travels. He looked different, more worldly and confident, but his eyes still held the same kindness. "Akunna," he said, his voice warm and steady. Akunna's heart skipped a beat. "Kalu, I didn't know you were back." Kalu smiled. "I've been keeping an eye on you. I heard about your business. I'm proud of you." Tears filled Akunna's eyes. "I was so foolish, Kalu. I threw away the best thing that ever happened to me." Kalu took her hand gently. "We all make mistakes, Akunna. What matters is how we learn from them." Akunna looked into his eyes, seeing the forgiveness and love she had once taken for granted. "Can we start over?" Kalu nodded, his smile widening. "Yes, we can. Let's take it one step at a time." As they walked through the market together, Akunna felt a sense of peace and hope she hadn't felt in years. She knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but with Kalu by her side, she was ready to face whatever challenges came their way. In the end, love and forgiveness proved stronger than pride and regret. Akunna learned that true wealth wasn't measured in money or status but in the relationships we build and the love we share. And as she embarked on this new chapter of her life, she was determined to make the most of every moment, grateful for the second chance she had been given.